Works, you're welcome. G Network iPhone, you are welcome. Ongalu Galaxy A10, you're also welcome to tonight's class. Thank you for choosing Digitezi Hub. Ongalu, were you with us yesterday? Please kindly unmute and let's hear you. Ongalu Galaxy A10. Oyinkosi, you are welcome. Oyinkosi, you are welcome. Ifi Chizoba Mary, you are welcome. Ifi, you are welcome.
Thank you.
How was yesterday's class?
It was so interesting.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
It was so interesting.
All right. I hope you learned something. And can you share with us your testimony about yesterday's class?
I learned how to create files and how to hide your files in the system.
I didn't get that clearly.
I said that I learned how to create files and how to hide files in the system.
Wow, that's amazing. All right. And I hope you learn more today.
I will learn more today.
By God's grace. Ujunwaku, you are welcome. Ujunwa Queen. Please, let's get writing materials ready.
Okay.
Ujunwa Queen, you are welcome.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Ujunwa, I can't hear you. I guess you are saying something, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. All right, please, let's keep telling our friends to join. Let's inform others that we are about to start. And as well, kindly get your writing materials ready for today's class. At least for those who joined yesterday, they were able to say one or two about the Digitezi Hub and what they've learned yesterday. And for those of us that are joining today, I assure you that you're going to learn a lot today. Just get your writing materials ready and prepare yourself for today. While we are doing that, please kindly share the link to your friends and your loved ones. Please tell them we're about to start the class. We're about to start. We are not wasting time. We're about to start. Thank you. So for us not to waste our time, we're about to start. So want to invite our facilitator, the person of Mr. Egweru Prosper, the tech specialist. You are welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. If I can just get one or two persons to respond, just to confirm if you can hear me.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. You are all welcome to Digital Z Hub.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. You are welcome to Digital Z Hub. All right, so please keep informing your friends, keep reminding those you have sent the link to previously that we are about to start. Invite as many as possible. We are starting right away. Right, so this is Digital Z Hub, as we all know, an online platform where you can learn quality test skills from experts. And I want to appreciate those that joined yesterday night's session. And I want to thank those that shared their experience with me personally. We are so grateful that those comments came. And I want to encourage every one of us to also be ready to learn more. The training is just like a relay race. So the background we have gotten yesterday, we have a way of making us to understand what we have to cover tonight. So for those that missed that session, perhaps such people here, so make sure that you join our group and be able to access that particular class, or you subscribe to our YouTube page. And like I told them yesterday, we have a lot of videos that are uploaded. This was the one of yesterday. And then as you can see, these are other videos. So the YouTube channel is actually resourceful. So just find a way to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get subsequent updates from us. All right, so without wasting our time, we are starting right away. All right, so as we all know, the 3 days free training covers the general introduction to computing, Microsoft Office Word, and Microsoft Excel mastery. So yesterday we dealt with the general introduction, that is the computer appreciation. Talk about what the computer is. We also mention various parts that makes up the computer. And then tonight we are taking it further to understanding how to process words, how to process data. That is what we shall be focusing on tonight. All right. So let's start. What are we expecting from this section? We are expecting to learn the general introduction to Microsoft Word, and then how to load it on the system once it has been installed. And then we'll also look at the explanation of Microsoft Word environment. These are some of the principles that are adoptable when it comes to learning applications. You don't just start learning the command until you understand the structure, the interface, the user interface of that app. It will have a way of, giving you some confidence while exploring the available tools within that app. So we'll also look at some basic word processing commands. We'll also look at some advanced word processing layouts. So I want to assure that if you stay to the end, you might not need to go and waste money to learn this program, because the time I have, I'll try as much as possible to utilize it to be able to cover what you need to know when it comes to word processing. All right, so without wasting our time, let's quickly look at the definition of Microsoft Office Word. Now, as we all know, Microsoft Office is a collection of different office tools. So out of which we have Microsoft Word, we have PowerPoint, we have Excel, right? So it's a single installation. So when you go to the market, you want to buy it. For those of us that are here, probably do not have it installed on our system, and you want to install it maybe after this class so that you can practice, is a single installation software. That is, once we install it, it comprises of various office tools, starting from Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, and Project, and the rest of them. But out of all this collection, it looks as if people are more conversant with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Meanwhile, there are other ones. All right, but tonight we are focusing on Microsoft Word. That is one of the application or package in Microsoft Office. So how do we define this application? So Microsoft Office Word is an application software which is used majorly for word processing. That is used majorly for word processing. So look at the keyword there, word processing. The word processing is talking about the process of transforming entries or data. That is the meaning of word processing. Now, for you to process word, you need an application called Word Processing Editor. So Microsoft Word happened to be one of the word processing text editor, right? So now, before now, we used to have other ways of processing words. We used to have what we call the manual processing, the one you use your biro and your paper to process. But today, technology advancements is gradually graduating that method of word processing to become electronic word processing. That is, a lot of people now, or computer users, are depending more on processing words with electronic or with technology. All right. So because when we say technology, we are not just talking about the hardware. The Microsoft Office we are learning tonight is part of the technology. Technology has two arms, the hardware and the software. So Microsoft Word happened to be the most used word processing application in the whole world. All right, which means that the number of people that are using Microsoft Word, the more than the number of people that uses other application. So just for you to get this information, so Microsoft Word is not the only word processor. We have WordStar, we have Notepad, we have Notebook. But out of all this, people prefer using Microsoft Word because of its reach in terms of the available tools for transforming or processing word. All right. So I believe everything I've explained can be encapsulated within what I have in my slide. So I actually gave a different definition because I believe you are following this one. But recently, what we know as Microsoft Word is now referred to as 365 because some of us, I believe, when you purchase a new laptop, what you have there may not be Microsoft Word. It could be what 365. Now, this 365 is like the cloud version of Microsoft Word. All right. So when we say cloud, I believe we all know that now we are gradually moving from local installation to cloud storage. That is a version of this that you can just register with Microsoft Office, and then you will now be able to what? To run it directly from their server without you having to install it in your system. All right. That is where the 365 version comes from. But the knowledge of the skill required to manage both of them, whether you are running the Microsoft Office Word or the version of 365, which is mostly used for cloud storage, is the same set of commands. All right. So now there are three keywords that I really want us to understand before we proceed. Now, and I want to tag these three words as word processing key terms. Word processing key terms. Because I'm going to be using these three words as I proceed with the class. So I just want us to quickly get them understood. The first one is character. Character. So when you come across anybody who processes words with an electronic device, you will hear them using the word character. Now, character in data processing or in word processing does not really represent behavior that we know it. Character in word processing means the unit of alphabet or numbers. The unit of alphabet or numbers in data processing or in word processing, they are referred to character. For example, the letter M is a character. The letter I is a character. The letter C is a character. The letter R is a character. So I believe that is understood. Another keyword you must know as word processor is text. Text. So there is difference between text and character. Now, characters are units of alphabet or number. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Once they are standing alone, they are character. They are character. Now, text is now the collection of two or more characters that forms a meaningful word. That form a meaningful word. I say text is the collection of two or more characters that form a meaningful word. So the moment you start combining those characters up to the point that they now make sense, it's no longer just character, it becomes text. For example, this particular word, Microsoft, is the collection of two or more characters that makes or that form a meaningful word. Now, word is a text. Is a text. So long it makes sense, it becomes what? Text. But if you combine them, even 100 of them, and do not make a single sense, the whole of that is still referred to as what? Character. So if I type A, B, C, D, it's still character, because if I join them together, that does not really define any word, meaningful word, single word. All right? So let's get that understood, because these are the terms everybody that processes word, particularly with electronic devices, must understand. When you go for an interview, they can use this term to twist you. All right? So they can tell you, can you process character with Microsoft Word? They can ask you, can you handle text? Can you process text? Now, the last one is document. The last one is document. You can see that in the definition, I use the word what? I'm printing text-based what? Document. Now, the word document means the collection of two or more texts. Now, let's get everything once again. Character are single letters or single word number standing alone. Now, when you combine them together, that will form what? Words, known as what? Text. Then when you now collect two or more of these words that form what you and I know as sentence. Sentence. Like the whole of this now, Microsoft Word is a word processing application software developed by Microsoft Corporation. The whole of this is a sentence. So how did you arrive at the sentence? You arrive at the sentence because you combine a couple of words together. You combine Microsoft, you combine Word, you combine is, you combine it, you combine Word, you combine processing. So that is why I said the collection of two or more texts or words forms what? Document. So now when we say that Microsoft Office Word is mainly for typing of documents, let me come down to that level. Typing of document. Now you understand what document is, which means that what? The collection of two or more words, and the words are made up of what? Character. I hope someone is following. All right. So now that we get the definition clearly, because I don't really want to waste much time on the theoretical aspect, because I really want us to focus more on the practical. You can make your personal research if you want to know more of the theoretical aspects of Microsoft Word. All right. So now let's look at some of the key features of Microsoft Word. I think this will deepen our understanding on this program. And for your information, whether you are a mechanical engineer, whether you are an electrical engineer, any field, whatever you are learning since yesterday and today and the one of tomorrow, they are basic knowledge that every computer user ought to have. This has to do with you are a professional. These are basic things. When you say you can operate the computer, it is basically expected that you know how to manage Windows of yesterday, and then you know how to use Word, Microsoft Word, and of course PowerPoint and Excel. All right, so let's quickly discuss some of the key features of Microsoft Word. Now, when we say feature, we are talking about the components, the characteristics, some of the things that is made up of that will make us understand it better. All right, so number one is document creation. So in other words, Microsoft Word allows users, that is you and I, to type and organize Word text. All right, so people who knows how to use Microsoft Word to type and organize text, they are referred to as typists. They are referred to as what? Typists. All right. So it is not everybody that can type and can organize. So some of us, we have typing skills, but we don't have organizing skills. So that is why you need to balance it all. The second feature is formatting tools. Now, the word formatting is another keyword that we need to understand as we proceed with the class. Anytime you are dealing with data processing, let me use that word, because there's a subject called data processing. Anytime you are dealing with word processing or data processing, the word formatting does not mean delete. Because if you are dealing with drive now, like your flash drive, and somebody say format the drive, what comes to your mind? You should wipe off everything in it, right? But when you are typing, so long as word processing, whenever you use the word formatting, it means transformation. It means changing the appearance of what you have typed. It means improving the appearance of whatever it is that you must have typed. In this case, could be the document, it could be the text, it could be the character. All right? So, which simply means that Microsoft Word as an application provide you and I certain tools for transforming, for reprocessing whatever we impute on the electronic paper. Now, let's also look at another key feature, editing tools. You see, one of the advantage of processing words with electronic or with electronic devices like computer is that it's very flexible. You can easily make changes without somebody knowing that you actually made mistake. Unlike the paper you are using to write there. Now, if you made mistake, you know, the paper will be stained. Somebody will know that what you made mistake before. So Microsoft Word provide us some tools that can help us to easily change, to amend whatever it is that we have typed. That falls under editing tool. As a matter of fact, it helps us with what we call thesaurus. Thesaurus is just like it's just like a dictionary that is embedded in Word that help us to check the grammar of whatever you type, so long is an English word, to tell you whether it's correct. And once it's not correct, it will underline it with red. So unlike if you are using the manual method to process, you know, when you are blowing wrong English, you may not even know. So this is one of the advantage of using a word processing or electronic device for word processing. Now, it also provide us what we call multimedia support. We can insert images, we can work with tables, we can insert charts, we can create link and shapes within Microsoft Word. All right. So as a teacher, when you are teaching and you want to display some pictures to pass the message, is very flexible for you compared to the manual method. All right. So we have templates. We have pre-designed layout for letter writing, for resume, and for report writing. All of these, once I'm done with this aspect, you're going to see them. All right. So there are templates mean certain structure that has been pre-programmed for you by Microsoft Word himself. That if you want to write a letter, maybe you are having issue with the structure of the letter, you don't know the format of writing formal letter. Microsoft Word has a template that you can just exploit and just substitute your information. Collaboration, track changes and add document, add comment, and the rest. File compatibility, you can easily save in multiple formats such as PDF, text, and docs. All right, so these are, you can print and share your documents via email, cloud. So these are some of the key features of Microsoft Office Word. So I believe we are good. Let me just get a response from at least one person. Somebody should unmute and let me know if you are following before we move to the practical aspect. Are we all following?
Yes.
All right. So thank you very much. All right. So now let's quickly dive into the practical aspects. Like I said, these are things we are going to do. So the first thing I want us to understand, you can start writing your topic. The first thing is how to access the program called Microsoft Word on your system. Now, remember that you have to get it installed. So for those of us that do not have it installed on our system, what I would advise us is to visit the nearby software vendor or the engineer or shop and get it installed. Or you just need to have an email and then go to www.microsoftoffice.com, and then you'll be asked to log in with your email, create an account, and then from there you can run it directly from their cloud storage. But the only thing is that you must be on the internet each time you want to access it. But the one I'm using to train us tonight is offline installation, the one that I've downloaded and installed. So let's assume that you have installed it on your system. How do you call it out? How do you load it? That is the first thing you should know. Yesterday, we talked about representing programs with icons. So for those of us that are writing methods of accessing Microsoft Word on the system, number one, we can use the shortcut, the program shortcuts on the user interface. And then we can as well use the program manager. So let me just quickly explain two of them. So when I said program shortcut, it means that I can simply right-click on an empty space and go to new, and then navigate to where I have Microsoft Word document, and then I click. So which means that I have created a representative as an icon from yesterday class. In other words, henceforth, whenever I want to use Microsoft Word, all I need to do is to double click on this icon, and that will take me straight to the Microsoft Office Word environment. So that is one way you can access it once you have it installed. That is accessing it through an icon. But of course, when you access it through an icon, those templates that we mentioned, you might not really see those templates because shortcut will always bypass so many things. So if I do not want to use shortcuts, which other way can I access Microsoft Word? I mentioned Program Manager. Now, Program Manager means you are calling it out from where all installed applications are stored. So once an app is installed in your system, there is a design storage that holds all the installed application. So we can call Microsoft Word from there as well. So how do we access it? Step, you click on the Start button. So the moment you click on the Start button, the whole of this interface comes up. So this interface that comes up is called the Program Manager. So all these apps that you are seeing here, they are apps that have been installed. If you do not install it, it cannot be displayed here. So from here, if you are lucky, you can easily find Word. Not until you see Microsoft. You can just be Word. This is Excel. All right. So I can just click here like this. This is another way I can access it. But I want us to observe something. You can see what is happening here. When we use shortcut, we do not access all this. The shortcuts simply took us straight to the typing page. The shortcut bypasses all these templates. So these are the templates that I spoke about. Now, most of these templates you are seeing most of them because the computer is on the internet. So if your system is not on the internet, you may not see as much as templates that I am seeing right now. All right. So let's just look at how to exploit some of these templates. So ordinarily, this is the one you click when you want to start your typing from scratch. That is, you have an idea of the structure of the document you want to process. So you may not need to explore it, but let me just show us how to use the template. So we have this as one of the templates, and then let me see if I can exploit more of the templates. So I can click on what? More templates, so that I can have elaborate version of them. So you can see, so these are different templates. Some are for, writing maybe some office memo, CV. CV have different level. Maybe you are asked to prepare your resume or CV, and you don't even know. Some of us, we go to all this commercial business center, and why you go there? Because you don't understand. You have a laptop, but you feel that you cannot type it. Why? Because you don't know the format. You don't know how the informations that are required. So meanwhile, those business center, sometimes they leverage on this template. So they will just come here and customize one. As soon as you come, they will just substitute your information and get it done. So let's say I want to use this to write a letter or a CV. So I'll click on it, and then it will now give me a brief description of it. So each one comes with a documentation. The documentation helps you to know what that particular format is. So this modern chronological resume or CV emphasizes your experience by showing your most recent jobs first. So now I can from here say, okay, I like this structure. So which means that my photograph is going to be required here, and then my name is going to be here. Of course, okay, if I want it, I click on create. So that will now load it to Microsoft Office interface properly. So you can say that with this, I've been able to generate a format. So this is what somebody will bill you for. Somebody can tell you that I specialize in designing CV or resume. So the person will come here. Now, this is a template that has been pre-built for you. So how do you change all the information to your own? Now, the template comes with what? Text holder. So for example, I want to change it to Prosper. I will just click on that and then type what? Eguero Prosper. So you see how you can easily customize it. Now, this is the space for address and your email. Of course, maybe probably you have a website. So you can click here and type the address. I can just say what? Okay. Asaba. Then maybe the place of your phone number, you put it there, plus 23469665919. So that is how you keep changing this information. So you go to each session. When you get to the place of picture, once you click here, you come to this icon here. Now, what you are supposed to do here, you're supposed to bring the picture, you insert the picture, and then you delete this one and put it there. So how do you insert picture here? It's part of what we are supposed to learn later, but let me just play with it in case I did not get to it later. So you can just go to insert. Once you go to insert, and then you see picture, and then let's say you want to get the picture from the internet, you go through this. If you have the picture already downloaded and stored within your local storage, you click on this device, and then let me target this picture. So let's say I want to use this picture, and then I will just click. Now you can see that what, as soon as that picture comes in, it replaces the picture that was there. Now, the picture that was there was a round picture. If I want mine to also be round picture, I'll click here and then simply what? Change it to what? To any of this. All right. So as simple as that. So you can click here and maybe write your experience, whatever here, then write the job title, the years you work in those places, you know, and they are the same thing. You just be clicking on the session and be editing your educational information. So within few seconds, you must have finished what? Preparing your resume. All right. So that is the essence of using the the program manager, unlike the shortcut that that bypasses those templates. Now let me show us another way you can access it before we go into the next topic. And if I don't want to use any of the two methods I've just showed us now to access Microsoft Word or my system before I process whatever document I want to process, I can just go to the search bar here, So once you click on, just make sure that your cursor is active in the search bar, and then you have something like this. Now just type the keyword. This method I'm showing us is referred to as using the program keyword method, using the program keyword. Now, every program that is stored in a system has a keyword. The keyword is just like an abbreviation that you can use to identify it from the buffer. All right. So I want to access Microsoft Word. So if I type the W that starts it, all the apps that start with W will come up. From there, I may just find it like I've seen it now. I will just click here. So sometimes a lot of us prefer using that method because it's faster. Instead of you coming here and then if you can't find it here, you now go to all app, you now start looking for Microsoft Word. Why don't you just use the search bar, leveraging on the keyword W? If it is Excel, just type E. If it is PowerPoint, just type P. Once you know the name of the app, you can easily search it out with each word keyword. All right. So now that we understand how to work with the templates, if some of us, the reason why we may want to consult the templates, it is because we don't have the idea of the structure of the document we want to type. So we could just go to the template and steal that concept, the arrangement, and then prefer typing it from scratch. So the question now is that how do you now access what we call blank document? So blank document is like an empty document that has no information pre-written, which is this. So if I have idea of everything I want to do, there's no point of me going through what? The template. So I will just simply what? Click here. So this very one will give me blank document. Blank document means what? A document that is empty. Document that is empty. All right. So now finally, we just learned how to access Microsoft Word. So remember what I said we are looking at into this section. So we have covered what? This, and I've also what? Covered this. So I am going to take this now. So the next topic is explanation of Microsoft Word GUI. So that is the next topic. Now, explanation of Microsoft Word GUI. So the question is, what is GUI? The GUI means what? Graphical user interface. So I want to define it this way. All application software usually provide us an interface for managing them. And that interface that is given to us so that we can exploit the tools available within its environment is referred to as what? The application what? GUI. So for example, and that is where you should start from as a beginner. You shouldn't start from knowing the meaning of this. You shouldn't start from knowing the meaning of this. You should first of all familiarize yourself with the environment. So it's just like somebody taking you to UK and you have never been there. You cannot tell me that you are going to operate the way people that have been there for 10 years are operating. It's going to take you some time to understand the terrain. So the same thing here, when you are learning application, don't let anybody go through the shortcut of without explaining the environment and start teaching you the function. I know we are curious about knowing the function, but the best way is for you to understand the structure of the application. And that is why I'm starting with what? This topic, which is what? The GUI, Microsoft's, that explanation of Microsoft Word graphical user interface. Now, this is Microsoft Word interface, the whole of this that you are seeing now. So we can say that this is Microsoft Word environment. This is Microsoft Word town. This is Microsoft Word city. This is Microsoft Word village. So we just arrive here now. And the first thing is not for us to start typing. It's for us to understand, okay, this particular environment that we are now, how is this structure? In case I start looking for command, where can I find them? That question will be answered after I have completed this topic. All right. So simple definition, Microsoft Office Word interface or environment can be broken into different sections. So we are going to take a few minutes to be identifying these sections. Microsoft Office Word interface or environment is broken into different what? Sections. The first section I want to identify is this section. Let me move this out so that we can see it. So the first section I want to identify is this section. The whole of this part that I am navigating at, you can write it down as the application title bar. The application title bar is the first section we want to identify from the top. And what does this section constitute? In other words, when I am using this program to type, to process word, what and what can I access from this section? Now, the application title bar displays the name of the application you are running. It also shows us, you can see it now, this is the name of the app, Word. Remember I said from here down to this place is the application title bar. So the very first information we are exploring via that section is the name of the app. Then the second information is the name of the document you are processing, the name of the file you are processing. Now, by default, when you launch Microsoft Word, the default name is documents. It can be document 1, it can be document 2, it can be document 3. All right? That is why I took my time to explain what document is, because I know there's no way you will learn this program without knowing what is document. So in other words, it's saying that this whole interface is a document, but it is an empty word document. And what is document from what we started with? Document is a collection of what? 2 or more texts. Now, why is it showing this? Because you have not renamed it. Now, if you ask me now, sir, this particular document 1, how does it describe what I want to type? Does it describe if it is letter? No. So that is why the first thing you do is to save. There is a save that we call save as, which we usually use when we are saving our document for the very first time, so that we can assign what we call file name. File name is like an identifier, a unique name that differentiates one of your file from the other when they are in the same storage. And one of these storage can be desktop, it can be document. So how do I save now quickly so that we can get this place updated? It is an abomination for you to save with document 1. Never do that. That means that you don't know how to change. You don't know how to save as. So how do we save as so that we can change this document 1 to a more descriptive name? We go to file. So this is how to save in Word now. You go to file. Now, the moment you click on file, the back end of the program comes up. So if I want to go back now, if I click here, I come back to the application. All right. So file will take me to the back end. Please just give me once. All right. So like I was saying, the moment you click on the save as, you see what came out. Now, this is what I was talking about, that we have 2 type of saving. One is save, one is save as. So the question is, when am I supposed to use save and when am I supposed to use save as? Save is for subsequent, for continuous saving. Let's say you have saved before and you added more information, you want to update. So we can say that the save is for updating your document. Why save as can be used for 2 things. Is either you are saving the document for the very first time so that you can give it a unique name, or the document you have saved before, you want to change the name. So these are the 2 conditions that are applied when it comes to using the save as. So at the moment, our file is still showing document 1, which means we have to go with what? Save as. So the moment you click on the save as, the computer will prompt you a different storage or option to choose different storage. Where exactly do you want to save your file? And please let me advise us, just like when you want to save money in the bank, you don't just go to any bank, you sit down and analyze the security. So as computer expert, you make sure that you choose wisely. There are different places where you can save your file. If it happens to be a sensitive information, please make sure that you do not save it where people can easily access it, like desktop. These are some of the previous storages. So now I can go to, if the place I want to store my file is not any of this, so I can go to browse. So browse is just like you are saying that where I want to save my file is not among these ones that you listed. Please, can I check for more? So that is what you did when you click on browse, and then you now have a kind of elaborate place where you can choose. So let's say I want to save in document. Document is more secure than desktop. So I can just select what? Maybe document. And then once you pick where you want to save, always be mindful of what has already been saved there, because you cannot use a name that has been used. All right. But if you have created a folder like we learned yesterday, you can just go into that folder. And then before you proceed, let's say this is a folder that I want to save. I will open the folder before I type the name of the file. But if I don't want to save in folder, you can use it to go up or to move from one level within the storage to the other. All right. So what I did now, I came back to where I was before. So I can click here now and then to take me back. All right. So I can select this And if I want to go back and click here, you can also use here to move around. Now, the next thing is for us to give our document a name. To give our document a name. Now, the name is what we change that place that we're having a document one. So, for example, we can just say, I want to type letter. I want to type letter. So I have letter. I have letter headed as the name that has been used, but this is different. So now I can just click on save. But if I want it to be passworded so that someone cannot easily access it on my behalf, instead of me just clicking on save after I've typed the name, I can just hold on with the save and then go to what? Tools. So from tools, I can click on what? General option. Click on general what? Option. So from here, I'll select general option and then you'll be given 2 text boxes. So you input your password. Let's say I want to use letter 1 again to confirm it. Then you keep typing the same password until it accepts it. So once it accepts, it means that what this document is passworded. The next time you want to open it is going to ask you to enter that password. Make sure you write down the password somewhere. Because if you forget it, that is the end. So now that you have imputed the password, you now click on save. So now the question is that if I type what? Welcome to Digitech Zeal Hub. The question now is that, is this particular one saved? Because at least if you check here, you will notice that, let me take this out. You will notice that the name has updated. Initially it was document 1, but now it's now bearing the name that I just assigned. But the question is that if I close this now, will this entry be acknowledged? The answer is no. Because in our system, we have ROM and we have RAM. RAM is random access memory, is a what? Volatile storage. While ROM is what? Read-only memory, is a non-volatile storage. That is, the RAM can only store information while your system is active. While the ROM can store even after you have switched off your system. So that is why, as a good computer user, you shouldn't, even though you have stable electricity, you shouldn't process words with the mindset of when I am done, that is when I will not save. No, an expert should be conscious of anything can happen. So once you type, you acknowledge, as at the time you gave this name, the document was blank. After you have acknowledged this name, you now type this. This is still just in the RAM. This has not gone to the ROM. So that is when you go back to the file and then you just update by selecting save. So you can see what I said. Save is for updating. Why save as is either you want to change the name or you want to what? Save for the very first time so that you can assign a unique name. I hope somebody is following. Can I get a response from at least one person? Just unmute and say, sir, I am following.
Sir, I am following.
Thank you. All right. Now, that is how to what? To remember that we are still trying to explain the interface of Microsoft Word. And along the line, I have also chipped in how to save. So I've used one stone to kill 2 birds. Now you know how to save, and then you also know that this whole interface is the application title bar. But I've only explained the rule of this place. Let me quickly talk about some of these things that you are seeing here. So as a user of an app, of an application, you must know how to use this. These are regulating buttons. This one is when you are, maybe when you have an account with Microsoft, you sign in with your email here. Now, let me talk about this 4 items. This one is called ribbon display option. So what do we achieve with the ribbon display option? The ribbon display option helps us to toggle, in other words, to turn on and turn off the tabs. Look up. You see the file, home, insert, design, layout, references, mailing, review, view, help. The whole of this, they are called tabs. And the tabs can also be referred to as command rooms. In other words, right now you are seeing all this command because I am in home room. If I move to insert now, I'm seeing different word command. If I move to design, you can see the way I am moving from one room to another. And as a result of that, I keep seeing what different properties in those rooms. So what I'm saying is that if I don't want to see these tabs and I don't want to see their corresponding properties, I can control it here. Now see what I'm going to do. If I click here, I have three options here. One says auto hide. So if I click here, you can no longer find them. So your hand can mistakenly touch that place without having the right knowledge, and then you think that the Microsoft Word has gone from the system. So if I want them to come back, I'll go back to that place. I can decide to say, I just want the tabs. I don't want the properties. I'll click here. Now you have the tabs back. But the only implication is that if I want to increase the size of this, for example, we are gradually touching some of the basic word processing command now. I want to increase the size of this. I should be asking myself, where can I access the command for increasing the size? Is it under file? Is it home? Is it insert? So what makes you a professional is your ability to identify where your respective commands are. Particularly when you are processing and you run into some challenges, you should know where to consult the command that will solve it for you. So most of the word basic processing command, they are in home. So if you don't want to know anything in Word, make sure that you know the command under Word home. What do I want to do? I want to increase the size of this entry. But you know what? There is what we call selection or to highlight. These are word processing terms. To highlight means, look at this here. I highlighted this text. How did I got it highlighted? I hold down with the left button and then I drag it. You can see the shaded portion. That is to say what? I highlighted. Now, what is the practical meaning? What is the expression? What did you just communicated to the Microsoft Office by dragging? You just told Microsoft Office that, you see, I could have so many documents here or text, but you see this one that I highlighted, that is the one I want to format. For example, I want to increase the size of this only, which means that if I come to home and I go to where I have 12 and I drop it and I pick like 20, can you see what is happening? You can see that it's only affecting that portion that I highlighted. So that's a way of telling Microsoft Office Word that this is where I want you to format. Because what I did now is called formatting. I improve, I change the appearance of what I typed. Now, let me also show us another logic how you can highlight, but there's a condition attached to it. If you want to change, you want to make everything to have the same appearance, look at the keyword there, everything. Then you just press Ctrl A on your keyboard. Hold down the Control button and press Ctrl A. That will highlight everything you have on the page. But if the condition is not to affect all the documents on that page, please, you should not use Ctrl A. You stick to what? Using the mouse to specify that aspect. So now I want to use, let's assume that I have forgotten where I can get the command to increase the size. And I don't want to waste my time. There are times that you leverage on shortcut, but shortcut sometimes is very dangerous. If you don't trust yourself, you better stick to learning the right way of accessing them. But sometimes I use shortcut because I'm conversant with them. I don't want to, let's assume now that I don't want to leave here and come here and start picking the size like this. I don't want to do that. I'm seeing this as I'm wasting time. Let's say this is an interview and I'm given 20 minutes to finish what I'm doing. That time you are using to come here to locate it. You can use shortcut, Control Shift. If you look at your keyboard, you will see a button that is labeled Control, CTRL, and what? Shift. When you press down these two buttons, then there is another button by your right where you see greater than and less than. So once you have pressed down the Control and the Shift, now press the greater than sign. What is happening is increasing the size of my entry. Now, while you are still holding down the two buttons, the Control and the Shift, while you are still holding down the Control and the Shift, sorry, just a minute. So while you are still holding that, the control and the shift, then locate the less than sign. That will reduce the font size. All right. So what I did now is to save my time from coming here and then coming here and be choosing the size. All right. Well, peradventure you want to know the design command for that shortcut. Look at them here. This is one. What did you see here? Increase font size. So you can see where I got the shortcut from. Control plus shift plus what? Greater than. So if I keep clicking here, it will keep increasing the size of that entry. What about this one? What is written there? Decrease font size. And what is the shortcut? Control plus shift plus what? Less than. So if I keep clicking here, it will reduce it. All right. So indirectly, I am trying to blend everything together. So you have learned some basic word processing command for increasing and decreasing word font size. All right. So what am I trying to explain now? You can see that the moment I step out from this, if I click outside now, all the properties collapse back. I cannot find it until I click here before I can see it. So I'm seeing this as this is distracting me. So what will I do? I'll go back to that ribbon again. Instead of me using this option, I will use this option. And what does the option say? Show tabs and command. So once you click on that option, the next time you click outside, the command will no longer collapse into what? Their tabs. So while you are working, you can see the properties under any of the selected tab. If I come here now, while I am working, I can see the property under any of the selected what? Tab. I hope you are following. Can I get a response at least from one person? Sir, I am following.
Sir, I am following.
All right. So welcome to Digital Z. Make sure that you don't miss tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session is, I'm going to take on Excel. So you cannot miss that section. I'm going to do a lot of calculation. We're going to learn how to do some number computation. So make sure that you don't miss that session. Same time, 8 p.m. tomorrow. And tomorrow will be the last session for these 3 days of free training. Please try as much as possible to invite people to join that section. All right. So just to proceed. So now you now know what to do with the what? Ribbon display option. So we have this option. This is another command, which is called minimize. What do I mean by minimize? To minimize means what? To remove the application from the screen temporarily, which means that you can still access it on the taskbar. So if I click here, you see that what? It took off that Microsoft Word. Now, if that is, let's assume that you are typing and you know that you are not through. You are still coming back. Probably you don't want to leave what you are typing on the screen. You know, there are some individuals that when they pass by, they see what you are typing. They will just put their eyes and be reading. So when you are not on seats in your office, the professional way of operating is that what? You minimize. You don't leave your file open on the screen. You minimize it. So when you come back, you just what? Call it back by clicking on the icon of the program from the taskbar. All right. So that's the work of this. Now, the next icon there is restore/maximize. So when you click on it, you see different options here. So if I click again now, you see that what happened? It was shrink the program. Now, the practical function of this is that it allows you to view multiple windows. Right now, I'm viewing part of Word, and I am also viewing part of what? Microsoft window. So it can allow me to view 2 interface or more interface at the same time. So if you hover on this and you click here, you see that if you click here, you see what happened. So these are some templates. You can see that I'm able to view all the interface at the same time just because I click on that one that have 4. All right. So I want to view 4 interface at the same time. So now if I want to go back, I will just click on this one and just maximize it. All right. So of course, the last one there is close. Close means to cancel. Never click on this icon when you have not updated your file. All right. So before you click on this, for example, if you add, we are learning MS Word. All right. Now, this particular one that you just added is not also saved in the permanent storage. So for you to acknowledge it, you have to go back to a file and then select what? Save. What I was saying is that even I have not saved it, I shouldn't click on what? This. Because clicking here means you are taking away the program totally. And any file that is yet to be saved will not be captured. All right. So now let's talk about another section, another segment within Microsoft Word environment, and which is this section. So this section is also very important. It is referred to as the standard toolbar. The standard toolbar. So the standard toolbar actually helps us to program some command shortcuts. Command that you use often. You will not want to be looking for them, so you program them here. Command like save, you can see an icon representing save here. You can see an icon representing open file. So which means that next time I close this and I want to open it, instead of me going to file and then select what? Open. Select open. I can simply what? Click on this icon, and that will shorten the process. I will just navigate on the file and then I'll be able to access it. Then I also have a shortcut representing save. The next time I want to save, instead of me going to file and selecting save, I can just simply click on this and that is done. The next time I made mistake, I want to undo. Maybe you made mistake, you want to go back or you want to go forward, you can use this. And then once you apply this, you can use this. You can see what is happening. Let's say I want to go back to where it was just what? This one. I will keep what? Going back, keep going back, keep going back. So now I have returned to the state I was when I typed it there. I said, oh, I want to bring them back. So you click here, click here. So one is undo, the other one is redo. All right, just to allow you to move back and front when you made mistake while processing. All right, so these are some shortcuts that we program here. So what I'm going to, this one is for cut. Let's say you want to take a particular word from here. You want to change the arrangement like this. You want word to come before MS instead of you deleting it. So you cut, that's the cut. You bring your cursor, the icon blinking is called cursor, and then you now what? Paste. Of course, paste is not here, so you have to go to what? For you to get that, use the shortcut. So you can say Ctrl V to paste. So you can see that I've changed the arrangement. So it's now word MS instead of what MS was. So depending. All right. So now one thing I want to show you before I leave that particular session is customizable. You can decide to off what you don't want to be here. For example, all these ones that are marked, they are the ones that are showing there. I want to remove the open. You click here, the open icon has gone. If I come back here now and I select the save, the icon has gone. So I can empty it. I can remove everything and bring them out one after the other. And when you are bringing them, you should bring them based on how often you use them. So for example, now I can't find these two here. So which means that I have to go to what? More command, and then I'll be able to find them here. Click here, select remove, click here, select remove, and then click. And then I've removed all of them. So if you are given a system to operate and you do not have any of these shortcut programs, how do you come about it? You now click, this icon will always be there. So now you ask yourself, there's no way I would type that I will not access my previous work. Okay, let me bring that open. Now there's no way I'm going to work with this app that I will not save. Let me create shortcut for saving. There's no way I will work without asking for a new document. Let me also what? So you can see the idea now of adding them. I'm not just adding, I'm adding based on priority. So there's no way I will not make mistake that I want to go back. The same thing. Now, peradventure, there are some of them that are not listed here that you want to use. You go to what? Show. You go to more command, and then you see a version of all the command here. So let's say I want to transfer this email. Click on it, and then click on add. Let's say I want to add color. Click on it and click on add. And then finally, you select what? Okay. So by the time you come here, you see all of them. Now, another thing again I want to show us is that if I don't want it to be here, I want it to come closer to my page. All right. So I'll click here and select what? Show below ribbon. You see that I have automatically moved it from here to this place. If I want to take it back, I'll click here and select what? Show above. So that is to let you know that you can actually change the location of the standard tools bar. So that is all about that session. The next session I want to explain to you is the tabs. The tabs, where you have file, home, remember the application title bar, the standard toolbar, and then the tabs bar, where you have home, where you have insert, where you have design, where you have layout, where you have reference, down to the whole of this area that I'm navigating at is called the tabs bar. Remember, I said the tabs are containers of different commands. The tabs, if I'm asked to define what is home, I will say home is a tab that comes with what different functions under it. If I'm asked what is this, insert is another tab that comes with different what functions under it. Design is another tab. Layout is another tab. All these are tabs. But remember the advice I gave to you that the tab that contains most of the use command for word processing in Word is home. If you learn all this alone, you understand this very well, you are good to go. All right. So this particular session that keep displaying their content as I move from one to another is called the tabs properties bar. The tabs property bar. So the tab you click on determine the properties you see there. So I can as well say that these properties, these are insert command. If I go to home, I will now say all these, they are home command. If I go to layout, I will say all these, they are layout command. If I go to reference, I will say all these, they are. So you as a user, you must be able to know where the command you need is. And like I said, make sure that you pay more attention to the commands under this. All right. Now, the next part I want to explain is this particular part where we are typing. It's called the electronic paper. It's called the electronic paper. You can see that is where you can write. That is where you can modify whatever you write. Then on the page, we have ruler. You can see this ruler here, this calibrated section. This is a horizontal ruler. This is a vertical ruler. The what we call margin, it's just like your normal notebook. You know, you have margin like this, and then you set out this. So usually in every page, we have 4 margins set aside, which you should know. So this one is the top margin. While here is the what? The right margin. While here is the what? Bottom margin. While here is the left margin. Now, this place is where you can type. So your text runs from here and then gets here and return to this and return and return and return like that. So this space is the margin. So that is what this ruler is showing you. From here is indicating the word, the left margin, which means that whatever you type, this space will not be used. That is why it left it empty. And if you come to this side, you also rule a line. You see that what the margin is here also. And then if you go up, there's a thin one. If you let me remove this from here. Let me remove it from here. You see that if you come up here, if I rule this line, you see that what? That is why this entry did not start from here, because there is a top margin. If you go down, we'll also see what? Another one. If you go down, you see another one. If I rule a line here, so you can see that what? There's also a margin here. So at the end of the day, why those margins are programmed so that your work can be centralized. All right, so that your work can be fitted to the center of the page. So that is what we should know about the margins. All right, so now there are times that your ruler may not be active, and as soon as your ruler is not active, you may not be able to see the margin you are leaving. All right, particularly if you are typing a document and it has spanned into multiple pages and you want to compress it. So it might lead to you coming here to be adjusting this, to be reducing the margin, coming here to be reducing the margin so that you can have more space. Sometimes you come up here to reduce this margin so that you can compress the entire document. But what about if the rulers are not active? So let me quickly show you how you can activate the ruler. Peradventure you can't find them. Just go to view And then you see what? The ruler is checked. So if I uncheck it now, you see that what? The ruler has gone. So please, one of the criteria for using this app is that always ensure that your rulers are active, because the ruler helps you to know the space you are going to use for your typing and the space you are leaving as your margins, like I just explained. So you should know how to add it. I can decide to say, okay, I want to look like I said, I'll just add what? This grid line. All right, so depending, but this is not a set, so you'll leave it what? Blank. I hope we are still following. All right. Okay, so now that will now take us to the basic word processing command. Though I've taught some of them, I'll just play with few of them and then we'll close with the advanced if the time permits us. Want to close earlier today. Now, when we say basic word processing command, remember this is where I am now. This is where I am now. The basic word processing command. The basic word processing. What do we mean by word processing command? These are transformative commands in Microsoft Word that have the ability of changing the appearance of what you type. These are transformative command in Microsoft Word which have the ability to change the appearance of what you type. So let's say I have typed this. What is called word processing? That is what you are reprocessing. Maybe you type this and you are not okay with the size. Probably you are not okay with the alignment. You are not okay with the color. So the moment you have issues like that, then it calls for what? Improving it. And for you to improve it, let's say you highlight. So like I said, most of these commands, they are in home. So bold, I want to start with bold. Bold is to thicken the what? The write-up. And it's mostly used for headings and some keywords within your document body. The title of the headings should be bolded. And then if there's a particular word, within the content that you want to make obvious, you also bold it. So this is where you bold. You can unbold, you can bold. You can use Control B to bold. You can use Control B to unbold. All right. Now that is one of the basic word processing command. The next one is alignment. Alignment. Alignment means a positioning, horizontal alignment. The positioning of your text. For example, now let me delete this. Let's say just welcome. And this welcome, if I ask you, is not at the center. Let's assume that I want to align it to the middle of the page. This is where you can get it. Under home, you come to paragraph section. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, alignment. If I click here now, the text moves to the center. If I click here, it moves to the right. If I click here, it goes back to the left. There are shortcuts for this. Control L, that is left. Control R is for right. Control E is for center. All right? So you should know all these shortcuts when you are typing. If you don't want to leverage on the shortcut, you can use this command under paragraph. All right? So that is one of the basic word processing. The next one is color. How do I color my text? Let's say I want to print with a color printer. How do I color? Color is also a command you can access under home. When you come here, you come to under font. You see this A. This represents color. So you can click once the text is highlighted. Make sure that the text must be highlighted before you can use some of this. You can change the color to this. You can change it to any other color. All right. Now, the next command is what we call change case. We are still talking about the basic word processing command. Change case. Change case is a processing term that means the handwriting, the way it appears. We have uppercase, we have lowercase, we have sentence case, we have capitalized each word. Now, I type the whole of this sentence case, only the W that's capital letter, the rest are small letter. So if I want everything to be capital letter, how do I do that? Is it that I have to delete it and on my cap lock? No. Just highlight it, come to this place under home, then consider what this group font, then click here. You will see all the case here. Uppercase means all the letter will be in capital letter. If I come here now and I say what? Capitalize each word. If I have welcome to TG Tech. All right. And I highlight again. and then I choose capitalize each word. You can see that what only the first character. Now you know what I mean by character. Only the first character of each word that will be capital letter. The rest will be small letter. That is what. Then if I go back now, if I want everything to be small letter, I'll select what? Lowercase. Now, if I want only the first letter to be capital letter, while the rest small letter, that is sentence case, I'll choose this. If I want to mix up capital letter and small letter, if it makes sense for you, you select toggle. So these are different cases. Now, all these cases can also change case, which means that the process of changing from one to another. I can hold down the shift and continue pressing F3. Hold down the shift button. Once you hold it down, you press F3. That is on the function section. I talked about that in yesterday class, where you have F1, F2, F3. Once you press down the shift button, press F3. You see that while you are still holding down the shift button, as you continue pressing that F3, it will be changing from one case to another. That can actually help you to toggle around 3 different cases. This is what? Lowercase. This is what? Center case. Sorry, that was when you make mistake like this, you come back here and click undo. All right, so the first time, this is what? Lowercase. While you are still holding down the shift, you press the F3 again. This is what? Capitalize each word. While you are still holding it down, press again. This is what? Uppercase. All right, now if I want to copy, the next command we want to learn is how to copy, how to cut, and how to copy. Let's say I want to repeat this text. How to copy. So you highlight it first. Then after highlighting it, then you click on copy. Sorry. So you click on copy. This is copy here. Once you have copy, then go down and then paste. So as you paste, you can see that what? I have duplicated it. That is how to copy and paste. Copy and paste. The shortcut for it is that you highlight it. Control C is to copy. You go to where you want to paste it. Control V is to paste. Control V is to paste. So these are some basic word processing command I really want us to understand. Then we have italic. Italic is for you to slant it. Then we have underline as well. These are basic word processing command. So you can decide to change your underlining type of line to maybe dotted line, or maybe you want to even add color to it. So all these are things that you can work with. Now, if I want to delete all this format, you can highlight all this and then come here. What is a clear word? All format. So that will delete all the format you will have added. So these are the basic commands. So I want to quickly also touch. I want to touch this as the last one for tonight. I want to touch this, but because of time, I want to touch only table, which is very important to us. I want to touch only table. So I believe you can play around all this. I think I have a manual that itemize all these and explain them. If you want it, just chat me up. You will get it. Now, let's quickly talk about table as the last topic in this section. What is table? Table is two-dimensional structure which is used to hold data in vertical and horizontal structure. It's usually used to type documents like roster, timetable. So it's a much used structure when it comes to word processing. So how do we create table? The fastest way of creating table, you can have a particular heading that will come before the table. Let's say what? DG Texil Hub database. All right. So this is a heading that will describe the table. Then I will come down and then I just taught you alignment. Take this one so that you can come to the, and then of course drop the size to like 12. Now I want to bring my table here. So bringing my table here, what I'm going to do, the steps on how to create table. The step, you go to insert, and then you're going to see table here. Now, a table has column and row. So if I just hover on this, you can see the way it's automatically what? Creating the what? The table. So I've just created what? The table. All right. So now I can now start typing the heading. Let's say, since it's DigitalZ database, maybe student database, I will say, okay, serial number will be here. Serial number will be here. Maybe a student name will be here. Maybe their reg number will be here. Reg number will be here. Maybe program will be here. So you can see, then maybe year will be here. All right. Now, all these two are considered to be SS. So where I have SS column like this, how do I remove them? So I will just highlight two of them, and then I will go to what? Remember where we are now. You are in table design. You now move from here to table layout. From table layout, you will see delete. What do you want to delete? Which of the components you want to delete from the table? I want to delete those two columns. I'll clear. So that has deleted the table, the column. Now, I can now start creating my record. Let's say here, number 1, number 2, number 3, sorry. Number 4, number 5. Then here, I can just enter some random name, Prosper, Eloho, Peter, Ojo, Rita. Then I can just formulate some reg number 001, 002, 003, 004, 005. Then I can just put program cyber security. I can just put data analytics. I can just put AutoCAD. Then I can just put DTP. I can just put data science. All right, here I can just put 2025. Then copy it. I just taught us how to copy now. Just copy, highlight the number of cells you want to paste it, Control V, and just paste it. Now, another thing again we can do on this table, you can see that this table is not actually spreading across the entire width. So instead of me doing things like this manually, coming here and start dragging it like this, just click on that table. All right. Then while you are still under the table layer, just click on where you have auto fit and then select what? Auto fit window. You see that what? The table will stretch and give you what? And distribute itself equally on the entire page. All right. So how do I also insert? Let's assume that I omitted a record here. A particular student should come here, or maybe this one should go down. So I'll make sure that I'm inside that row. Then I'll go back to that same layout. I'll select insert above, insert above. So that will give me what? A row above. So I can come here now and say, okay, insert below. That will give me a row. Then in terms of column, I can also click here. So okay, maybe I omitted a column that I want to bring in. So just make sure that you are in between where you want to bring in that column, and then you use insert left and what? Insert right. Insert below and insert above is for adding row. While insert left, column right. So where do I want to add it? Maybe to the left-hand side or to the right-hand side, you add it, and then you have that extra space. If you want to delete row, the same thing. You highlight the rows you want to delete. Remember, you go to table layout, then click on this, and then what? You specify the component you want to delete, which is what? Table row. I'll remove it. So another thing again I want to do is that if I want to add more rows, what will I do? I will just click here and be pressing. Remember, go back to that table layout, insert below, insert below, insert below, insert below, insert below. Now I want to break this table into two parts. That's why I added more row. That is, from here upward will become a different table, while here will be another table. That is called split table. So I'll split it from here. You can see that what I now have this as a different table. I can click here and then go to my design and choose shade color and give it, just for you to know that it's a different table. You can see that the color did not affect this. So I can also click here and then go back to my table design, choose this and give it a different color. So depending on what you want to do. All right, so I can restructure this table. I can erase a particular line from this table. So that will take me back to this, and then I will now go to eraser. So once you select the eraser, you can say, okay, this line, I want to delete it. Maybe your table needs this structure, so you can make the structure complex by using the eraser to be erasing the lines, because there are some data sets, there are some data you'll be given to type in your office that will require redefining the table from the way it was created in order for you to accommodate what you want to type. So ladies and gentlemen, this is where I really want to stop. We have covered much with the time we have spent, so I want to open the line for questions if you have any.
Sir, you said control what is for paste?
Control V. Control V. That is after you have done Control C to copy, then you go for Control V to paste.
P.
Yes, V. Now, look at it here. If I highlight all this, let's say I want to copy and paste here, highlight all of them, then you can go back to home and select copy. Then I'll select the number of cells. I'll highlight some cell here that I want to paste it, and then go back there and press Control V. Control V. You can see that to paste it. I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any question? If you will have taken notes, taken down your number, we'll contact you once we want to start the Python class. And for any other person that's interested in joining that Python class, that will start January 2026. You can also chat us. You can chat me directly on this number. Just WhatsApp me on the 070-6966-5919. Do we have question? Question? So we draw the curtain here. So I want to welcome us once again. Make sure that you do not miss tomorrow's section. Tomorrow we shall be focusing on Excel. Excel is one of the office application that is widely used as well for calculation. So make sure you do not miss that section. We are going to deal with the basic of it, and in between we will touch some of the advanced things, just like the way I chip in some in this class. Any question? So there's no question, so see us tomorrow. Please encourage us by sending the link to friends to join tomorrow Excel session. Thank you as you do, and do have a lovely night. Bye for now. See you guys tomorrow.
Good night, sir.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, sir.
Good night. Thank you.